ज्ञानानन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining today's Bhagavatam reading. So we will be reading third canto, 31st chapter, 5th sloka. And I would like to wrap today because I have another class, so I have to head for that one. Okay. Matur Matur Jagdhana Panadhyair Edahad Dhatur Asammate Setevin मुत्रयोर्गार्ते स jantu sambhave. Okay, synonyms, word to word meaning. Matuhu, of the mother. Jagada, taken. Annapana, by the food and drink. Adhyayai, and so on. Edahat, increasing. Dhatuhu, the ingredients of his body. Asamatte, abominable. Sete, remains. With mutrayoho, of stools and urine. Garte, in hollow. Sa, that. Jantuhu, fetus. Jantu, of worms. Sambhave, the breeding place. Translation. Deriving its nutrition from the food and drink taken by the mother, the fetus grows and remains in that abominable residence of stools and urine, which is the bleeding place of all kinds of worms. Purport by His Divine Grace, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Markandeya Purana, it is said that in the intestine of the mother, the umbilical cord, intestine of the mother, the umbilical cord, which is known as Apyayani, joins the mother to the abdomen of the child. And through this passage, the child within the womb accepts the mother's assimilated food stuff. In this way, the child fed by the mother's intestine with the womb and grows from day to day. The statement of Markandeya Purana about the child's situation within the womb is exactly corroborated by the modern medical science. And thus, the authority of the Puranas cannot be disapproved, as it sometimes attempted by the Mayavadi philosophers. Since the child depends completely on the assimilated foodstuff of the mother during the pregnancy, there are restrictions on the food taken by the mother. Too much salt, chili, onion, and other similar food is forbidden for the pregnant mother because the child's body is too delicate and new for him to tolerate such pungent food. Restrictions and precautions to be taken by the pregnant mother, as enunciated in the Smriti scriptures of Vedic literature, are very useful. We can understand from the Vedic literature how much care is taken to beget a nice child in society. The Garbhadana ceremony before sexual intercourse was compulsory for the persons in the higher grades of society, and it is very scientific. Other processes recommended in the Vedic literature during pregnancy are also very important. To take care of this child is the primary duty of the parents, because if such care is taken, society will be filled with good population to maintain the peace and prosperity of the society, country, and human care. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So I think today's shloka and the is very important, not only just for the devotee communities but the whole society itself. It talks about how the population getting into the society, meaning giving the birth to the jivas, what that process, and the whole process very nicely Prabhupada in these two paragraphs very um, systematically summarized what that process should be. Now, we in the Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita, repeatedly we talk about these four situations, or we talk about that, right, in the journey of self-discovery. There are four problems, and we define the problems, and these are the problems universal, we say, right? What are those four problems? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. And often people wonder who doesn't have any understanding about the basic understanding about uh, the whole existence of ours. They say, why Janma? Because we celebrate happy birthday, cutting cake, and depending on the capacity of this individual, they celebrate. Rich people elaborately they celebrate. But whereas Bhagavad Gita is saying, this is the problematic situation. Why we are celebrating, it says, right? So the reason is when the child in the mother's womb, that particular place, if it remembers, it would never want take a birth. Next time it doesn't want the birth at all. And when I came first time such devotees birthday party, they were singing, besides Hare Krishna Mahamantra and everything, you never take birth again. I said, what is this? These people are gone nut. I was thinking why they are singing you never take birth. But gradually, when this knowledge, when this understanding is there, then we realize, yes, Baba, why would any soul would like to be in that nasty place, right? See, now knowingly, if any dirty place, do we want to go? No. Similarly, everything, intake, outtake, everything is going there, and you are in that environment. Physically, it is not tolerable for any person to be in that situation. So that is the reason here. Look at this, how the Lord, even though that is how the jiva takes birth, then there is a facility, and how the umbilical cord, which is providing the food to the from the mother to the child, there is an umbilical cord, so that way he is nourished. So in spite of being in surrounded such a very nasty dirty place. So here is what Prabhupada says. So and another thing is, this is a lesson for also, right? Now a practical interpretation or analogy that I would take is, we are living in society. uh, Outwardly it may not be so grossly, physically everything is very nicely decorated, very well organized, but there, when there is no Krishna katha, when there is no Krishna conscious, it is as good as a nasty place. Now when people, when devotees talk like that, people will say, what is this guy is talking? Yes, because uh, the shastra says the very purpose of this human life is to realize yourself, that we are not belong to here but we belong to somewhere else. So that understanding is should be there, otherwise this whole society is a nasty place in spite of outwardly appearing very nice. Because the more a devotee looks for the inner beauty rather than the outer beauty. Well, don't take me wrong, that I don't mean that we should not be externally clean. Yes, we do. But what I am trying to say is that is not itself. The external beauty, external cleanliness, yes, a step forward in devotional activity. But beyond that is the inner beauty, the inner peace, the inner sanctity. Because even the Bhagavatam says, right, the Lord is understood in three ways. What is that? Brahman, Paramatma, and then the Bhagavan feature. So Paramatma is residing in this so-called body. So that means we are all temples. We are walking temples, talking temples, whatnot. So when the that understanding is there, then my conduct will be very nice. Each and every step, each and every action that I perform, I should perform consciously, right? Because when we go to a temple, what happens? The external sanctity will be there, and that external sanctity, and with the devotional activities that performed there, and then constant chanting, devotee association, the external kirtan, sankirtan, all this cleanses our heart. And then the so-called the walking, talking temple I am saying will be cleansed. So that bhava is what more important from this particular situation of the child in the mother's womb. So that is a lesson for me, that yes, I am put in this situation, so I have to be in that. Now with the society we compared as a nasty, if there is no Krishna Katha, Krishna conscious. Then what about the umbilical cord? So the umbilical cord is nothing but the association of the devotees. Why? Because through the devotees association, the food, the spiritual food, the nourishment that we get is very important for our own sustain and deliverance. So here, the womb, in the womb, how the nasty thing society without Krishna conscious is, that society is like that. Then what is our umbilical cord? The devotees, association with the devotees, that's our spiritual nourishment. Now, why association is very important, right? There is a very beautiful sloka. It says that satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः. Very beautifully it is given. We are all in IT, right? It's a flow chart. Satsangatve nissangatvam. So from association we develop detachment. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. From the association we develop delusion. We overcome these false beliefs. And then nissangatve nirmohatve nischalatatvam. From association detachment. From detachment overcome of the false belief. Then false belief nischalatatve, meaning steady of the mind. So nischalata, steady of mind is very important, right? Manaha chanchalaha. See, the very nature of this mind is very flickering, and it is compared like a monkey. How monkey cannot stay at one place, it jumps all over the place. So the monkey is also like that. So nischalatatve, for a devotee, for a practitioner sadhaka, the nischalatatve, steadiness is important. So then nischalatatve jivan mukti. So here jivan mukti, liberation. So the liberation can be interpreted different ways, but as a Bhagavata, as a devotee, as a devotional practice, we want that liberation is nothing but getting fully situated in Krishna conscious. So how you can see the association all the way till the complete Krishna conscious it takes. So that is the beauty of the association. So association I interpret as a umbilical cord. And next, in the next paragraph, um, Prabhupada emphasizes the very process of progeny, right? So, I mean, even though I had some basic understanding in the childhood by the grace of my parents, I got introduced to Bhagavad Gita. But never we were given this deep because in the childhood. But after that, when you got into your academics, the academic material knowledge doesn't give any clue about all these things. And unfortunately, we are not following the Gurukula process, right? So, as a result, we are educated to become slaves, to become laborers. What is the difference between a physical labor and intellectual labor? I consider myself as a intellectual labor. What is there for me? A 8 to 5 for the purpose of earning money, I'm doing without any clue, right? So this whole the education system is designed to make mass labor, whether you call physical labor or intellectual labor. But as long as there is no understanding given for the ultimate purpose of this life, then what is such use? But here, I'm not promoting that you should just quit. No, by mercy of the Srila Prabhupada, we have this magnanimous organization called ISKCON, and they are giving, it's a preaching organization, they are giving. Now, what is this Garbhadan? There are samskaras, right? So these samskaras are to be performed, and with that, now the most important samskara is Garbhadana ceremony. So there is a beautiful process elaborated how a couple aiming or interested to give progeny, then how they should prepare this two things, bodily and mentally. See, bodily, there is a huge science available, no problem. Then what about mentally? So then the samskara says you have to mentally prepare. So for a 6 months, they chant rigorously, and on the day of the intercourse, there is a proper procedure is there. You have to chant so many rounds and certain kala and certain food material you have to take. So there is a beautiful process is there because why? See, in the mundane society, the Maithunancha is considered a fun activity. Of course, I mean that is how the system is designed. But a person who is God conscious, he he also thinks that this is a yajna. It's a kind of a yajna. Why? Because the soul, you are welcoming a soul into this world. Now, also, right? See, here, proper understanding of the Bhagavad Gita shatters my ignorance. Why? In the, say, the so called children I have, I am not the true father. I am not true father. Why? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, right, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke. He's saying all the jivas are my own Amsha. So I am a facilitator. That's all, nothing else. So when that bhava is there, then you consider that Maitunancha activity as an yajna, and you are going to be in that conscious, and then you are inviting that jiva to come into this material world, right? So, what a beautiful way of looking at this whole nasty and mundane thing we consider, but that is. If we have a right understanding, that process itself is a yajna because you are inviting this jiva. Now, now to prepare, say in our home, if we want to perform yajna, what we do? We do so many precautions, right? We invite all the guests, and then we prepare so many food, nice prasadam, everything, right? Similarly, this process is that. And the garbhadana samaskara means the mother also, what are the once it is conceived, how it should be, right? After that, how the mother should be taking care the 9 months, right? Before that, the jiva is in her womb, and in the womb, the food material that she has to take. So what is the process? She should avoid taking tamasic padarth, tamasic food. Why? That will agitate the jiva. Because see, often we question about, I myself had a very difficult struggle, because though I'm a vegetarian from the birth, how to give up the onion and garlic. Of course, it wasn't a big attachment for me, but the question comes, right? So long, for so many years you have been eating, and all of a sudden somebody comes and says, "Hey, you should not be eating." So, for a long it was a struggle, and I remember that time when I was in Pittsburgh. So. For some reason, there were a series of emails Maharaj sent, Guru Maharaj sent, and that really shed. Maharaj gave so intricate details, because, as you know, Maharaj go into the very deep into the subject. So that helped me. Yes, this is the reason. Now the tamasic. See, if you look at onion and garlic, they are not bad. They are like a vegetables only. But the nature of that material is it agitates your mind. Mind is being by nature chanchala. When you are giving a tamasic material fed, then it influence multiplies. That is a reason it's not only Vaishnavas, any Vaishnavas and the ISKCON, but beyond that also, they don't take these food materials. Those they take only sattvic padarth. So, and also they don't offer, because, right, what can we offer to the Lord? Patram, phulam, pushpam, and then any tamasic padarth. See, the practice was even subtly there in the society. See, before even coming to ISKCON, I see in my parents, they never offer anything. Say, for example, there is a Satyanarayan Vratam is happening. That day they prepare some dishes, particularly for the Lord, but without an onion garlic. But never it was highlighted, never it was educated. They know that those onion and garlic should not be used when you are offering to the Lord. They know that, but they don't know why the reason. For the purpose of that day, they do that one, but regularly they continue, because that is lack of education. See, people are genuinely, they are very nice, but lack of this understanding, that they are not able to follow. So that is a very small thing in this thing. So here garbhadana is a mother is taking care that baby for 9 months. And another thing I want to bring into the uh, talk is, it's very important that for any child, the mother is the first guru. Why? Because why even Shastra says, right? Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. The first place is given to the mother. Because just imagine, if I am put in a small, in pleasant situation, I will be perturbed. I will be so agonized. I will be. But mother, 9 months, she bears this pain. 9 months is not easy, because and not only from the physical challenge, her movement is restricted, and our mood swing is so different. I can share if time is there, but I'm practically my experience itself. When we were expecting our child, I used to think why they behave different, sometimes nice, sometimes, because they are going through the mood swing and the so much restriction. They cannot freely go outside. They cannot truly do anything. That as a man, I'd never gone through that. I don't understand. So it is very, very, when you understand, the way you interact with your other wife is totally changes. Why? That is yajna. She is performing 9 months yajna. It's an aster. That is the reason it is said shastra, for a child, the mother is the first guru, and she's devata. She's, look at the sacrifice that she gives. 9 months, amazing. See, that is the reason we should be celebrating not only on the Mother's Day but throughout the day. See, it is a very nice practice. In my childhood, my father taught me every day in the morning when we used to get up, we used to offer our obeisance at their lotus feet. See, they brought me into this life, into this world. So that is the moral obligation. And what to speak? There are all the parents, irrespective of they are on the spiritual path or not, physically they are bringing. For that itself, the gratitude should be there. And then what to speak? The parents who are inculcating that Krishna conscious, they should be respected and should be treated every day. See, whether a person offers obeisances to the other deities or not, but the first worship should start honoring the parents, especially the mother. Mother is physically and mentally she's connecting. She's giving this body, and mentally she's nourishing the child to be Krishna conscious. So this process we have to, and especially even in our in our schools, especially in our ISKCON schools, we have to promote this, the honoring the parents, especially the mother. It's very important. So. Prabhupada very nicely in this paragraph beautifully brings the point of the Garbhadana samskara, how important it is. So in summary, the first paragraph is saying how being in the nasty place also we should be susceptible. We should be receiving that Krishna conscious, is right. See, even another shloka, right, in the Padma Patram Vivambasaha, like the lotus, how it is surrounded by the dirty mud and everything, but yet it is not attached. So, similarly, the association gives that sublime, what do you call, like similar to abdominal cord, nourishes our mind to be Krishna conscious. That is my, so the first paragraph I attribute the whole the womb situation with the association and how it nourishes. And then second thing is in the second paragraph how Garbhadana is very important and how the child should be taught to respect and honor the mothers. So these are in summary I would like to share my thoughts. So I would end here. Um, if you have any other discussion points, we can spend 5 minutes. Then we are done. Okay. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Was a what do you call smooth flow. So thank you so much. I think it was very difficult place for a living entity to go through that situation of being there in the womb for 9 months, right? So I mean, of course, if anybody really imagines, they don't really want to be there in that situation.
Yeah.
But then, unfortunately, we don't. I mean, it is not with us all the time, right? So
Yeah.
that's very difficult.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I like the way you kind of compare the social structure or the the association, how the people, I mean, this society with this living entity and the association and all, right, with the umbilical cord. I
Yeah.
mean, that the kind of analogy, it was very nice. I was just thinking about it. And of course, the Garbhadana Samskara is so important, but I mean, the
Mm,
society is completely lost
mm,
track of it, or people
mm.
doesn't do those things anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, and forgive me, Prabhu, for
No
my
problem. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hare Krishna.